You know, in the end, because the Democrats nor the Republicans did what they were supposed to do, which was protect the individual person, nor the courts. Let's add the courts, because that useless. I mean, again, they usually side with corporate, but the problem is, and they'll all pay a price for it too. They ultimately will, because of the moral bankruptcy, as I keep mentioning, that is heading up the institutions. Because the other reason that this is so off the rails is because they want your DNA. And they have it. I mean, they do. So when Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm not trying to single her out, because there's most of the Democrats have invested as well into all these big tech giants, okay? All the government just loving Silicon Valley, right? This is the moral depravity that has taken place. Is down to the very, and the way, of course, the healthcare system, the university hospitals will bring this as they are, okay? I mean, this is obviously talking about the uses and misuses. I don't trust any of you university hospitals. Are you kidding me? After what I saw when I worked at Northwestern, and they're at a rural location, and their behavior downtown, and yet their huge genome lab. Oh. But see, it's also a way to target somebody. So although the healthcare sector will claim, no, this is going to we're going to be able to fix DNA problems and genetic problems, there's a cost to all of it. Something science and tech never consider, unfortunately, but we all pay the price for it. And I know I sound angry, because this does make me angry. The amount of abuses here, the amount of oversteps, the amount of people that have failed in the House and the Senate on both sides of the aisle to just simply do what the founders wanted, which was protect the individual, is shows a mass amount of total incompetence. Why? Because you people sold out for money. You people sold out for, your famous picture on the news every night, right? Your famous speeches, your famous, oh, I said this. Yeah? What did you do for anybody, though? Oh. I mean, down to people's DNA. Like, you couldn't be more, invasive at people. You couldn't be more disgusting. That you let these people do this to us. Because then what they do is they target people. They don't just get your data so that they can sell it for reasons of what they want to sell you. It's because it helps the police state. So that's why it upsets me so much. It's like, at what cost has it been for any of you, when in the end you end up in the police state too? Did none of you university hospitals, did none of you scientists, did none of you coders in tech, did none of you tech companies consider any of that? Sure you didn't, because you figure we're controlling it, so we'll get all the freedoms we want, while we completely encage the rest of society. Like, that's a moral bankruptcy you can't fix. Companies may sell or share autonomous genetic data with third parties, including pharmaceuticals, biotech, and research institutions for profit and research purposes. Yeah, I mean, the amount of moral bankruptcy in the university research centers when it comes to the genome labs is unbelievable to me. Because it's, again, all about research and profit. While they claim to anonymize data, re-identification is sometimes possible by cross-referencing with other databases, so they know everything about you. Yeah, who's going to fix that? Huh? Congress, House, huh? Supreme Court? Who's going to fix that? You guys don't care though, right? Because you're protected. You think you are. I think you just get thrown in the scrap pile like the rest of us, maybe just last. Way to go. Once companies have your DNA data, they typically use it in several ways. Research and development, many companies use your genetic data, often combined with millions of other samples to conduct medical and scientific research. Shouldn't we get paid for that? Where is Congress demanding that tech pay every damn U.S. citizen for the amount of crap you've stolen from us? I'm sorry, I'm just so mad. I mean, you've taken everybody's right, you've taken all privacy away. And nobody is doing anything about it. Many companies use your genetic data, often combined with millions of other samples, to conduct medical research, such as identifying disease risks or developing new drugs. This is why there was all that hearing in Congress with that site 23andMe, because even if your family members did it, then they know you. Anybody who gave, sent saliva in because you wanted to know, your genetic like who you're, related to, all of that. That's how underhanded it's all been. Because what happens is, even if you trust that organization initially, they'll end up selling their organization to somebody else that's not so good, and then all that your data's in their hands. And the highest of educated I'm sorry to say, are the people I trust the least. I think that whether they realize it or not, they're the most morally bankrupt in many ways. Maybe because they've spent so long in the university, never knowing who they are, never really doing any self-reflection at what goes on with them. Then they go on and become some damn coder in Silicon Valley, or become some research assistant at a Northwestern University or University of Wisconsin, and then everybody has put these people on a pedestal. And yet the unethical practices of science and technology don't get any better, no matter how much regulation you put on them. The previous screen I had with the genetic data, you can go find that on YouTube. This research explores the impact of this trend on the field of marketing. The authors build on past behavioral genetic research to incorporate genetic influences into existing consumer theory. Look, you know what? There's some things, I don't care how much people's DNA you have. Because you people do not believe in the Almighty God and the power of that is why you fail. That's why you have ended up here. That's why you have ended up taking the world into this sick place. Is because you spent too long in the classrooms of the universities instead of knowing God. Because if you knew God, you would realize that there are some things that science nor tech will ever understand about God. Only each individual that decides to have a relationship with God will understand that. Your DNA samples or data on us isn't going to tell you everything. But it's told them enough that that's how they create the digital gulag.